What's up, everybody? John Eric Poli here with my MMA news, and today's guest just defeated Polyana Viana by unanimous decision at UFC Vegas 55. I am pleased to once again be joined by Tabatha Ricci here today. Tabatha, thanks for being here. Appreciate the time as always, and congratulations on the big win.
Hey, thank you for having me back here. I appreciate and thank you.
So every time I've been on Instagram since you've won your fight, it seems like you've been out doing something, having a good time, soaking it all in. What's the celebration kind of been like for you? It seems like you've been really enjoying life since the win, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I have been hanging out with my mom and my friends, everyone that support me here. So I spend a little time catching some loves. And yeah, I'm already back to training also. I have been in the gym every day. Yeah, enjoying life.
And that's a dedicated athlete too, to have friends and family and like that, and still go in the gym and getting your workouts in. And
Yeah.
let's talk now, though, a little bit about this win. We'll start kind of breaking some things down and kind of get into this whole reason why you're celebrating here. So, before we exactly get into like a round by round type breakdown, I just want to talk overall big picture here. Obviously, the big story of the fight, you were so successful with those double leg takedowns. Was that the game plan coming into the fight, to shoot for those takedowns like that and get her on her back?
Well, yeah, the game plan was pressure her first to the cage and then went to the takedown. But I think I couldn't shoot the takedown from the opening. So, yeah, that was one of the plans too.
I can tell you, over here in America, obviously football is a very popular sport. Coaches will probably be showing your takedowns as a way how to tackle, because you were so good at like really wrapping her up and driving her down into the ground that way. Has this been a move that you've kind of drilled over and over and over again? Because just your technique on it was so flawless and perfect, it seemed like.
Yeah, yeah. I drew over and over and over and over. Like, yes, a
So
lot of drills.
So one of the things that I didn't realize when we spoke the last time before this fight, you actually had gotten started in the sport from your father, and I believe the UFC broadcast said you've been something like since you were 6 years old, you've been training in the sport. Is that a
Yeah.
move that you've learned at a young age that you've just been doing for so long that makes you so perfect at it, or is there any technique that you use in the fight game that you've
I
learned from day one that you still apply today?
Well, when I start judo, we learn all these techniques, you know. Uh, so I came from judo. So when I came to US and I tried to get more deep in in the wrestling technique, I really got in love with wrestling. I love wrestling, and I think I could put together a little bit what I have with judo with wrestling. So it's kind of combined good for me. So I feel very comfortable, and I think it's something like I can use a lot. Which I have been drilling a lot. I have been like studying a lot wrestling. My coach, Carl, he's like a amazing coach. So he have been working with me, doing a great job.
Now, obviously, we know you're Brazilian. Is wrestling big over there by any chance? I know you were saying like you're kind of like learning wrestling when you came over here. I know over here in the United States it's very popular for men, but it is starting to be for women. There's like a big increase in it now. I know more schools and all that are getting women's wrestling
Yeah,
involved.
yeah. We don't have a wrestling school in Brazil, you know. I think American wrestling and Russian wrestling is more popular, right? I learned the wrestling I learned in Brazil was the wrestling for jiu-jitsu and MMA wrestling, you know. But when I came to America, I really learned the pure wrestling, you know. So it's totally different, you know. Here I learn like specific techniques, only like in the wrestling rules, and we adapting for MMA. So I have been learning a lot of deep wrestling right here. So it's totally different for what I learned in Brazil, you know.
Yeah, gotcha there. And now let's start getting into the exact breakdown here, kind of going round by round of this fight. We'll start obviously with the opening round. It seemed like she was very comfortable with kind of fighting off of her back because you got her down there and she was just willing to lay down there. Were you surprised that she was so willing to fight off her back and let you kind of do the work from the top there like you were able to do?
I already expect that. I was planning like in my head the fight was going on like she's gonna try to strike me, and if she's not feel comfortable, she's gonna back to her habit, which is pulling guard. You know, so I already was expecting that. It was not a surprise for me. we train a lot that situations, you know. I think in the first round, I have a little bit difficult to find the distance because she's very long. So in the end of the round, I couldn't find more the distance and I couldn't shoot more on her. Like I couldn't find the right distance to shoot. And I stick with that because that was working. And then after that, I was trying not to be much engaged on off her guard because that's where she's good and that's where she wants me to be. So she was kind of finding her back. I think was, I know I want to trying to be more entertaining fight, but she's being on her back, you know, was not much entertaining the way I want to, but I have to fight smart and win the fight, you know.
So I was actually shocked when I went back, because obviously when you got the win, they said it was 29-28 on all three judges' scorecards. It seemed like the broadcast team thought you were probably going to win 3-0. I thought it was going to be that way too. They actually gave her the first round. I was a little surprised by that. Did that throw you off guard as well, that they scored the first round for her?
I was not surprised. I think when they ended the round, I think it could be like you know, like same for her, same for me. I don't think she could win the first round, but I knew it was gonna be close because she have more attempts on the submissions. You know, she tried some guillotines on me, so maybe show to the referee she was trying to attack more, even like I was not feeling at all. You know, but yeah, I was not surprised when they gave to her. You know, I understand.
And then in the second round, right, she kind of got off to a bit of a faster start in it, right? The stand up game, she was able to use her length and whatnot. You were eventually, though, able to close the distance, secure two takedowns in the round. That obviously swung that in your favor there. Obviously, close competitive round. Just talk about that round and how it kind of played out in your eyes and how you felt going to that final round then, as what ended up being really it was 1-1 on the judges' scorecards going that last round.
I think it was super clear that I won the second, the third. I found my way to win the fight, and I got good distance on the takedown, so I just stick with that. You know, I was circled, make she switch the stance with the kicks, and then I find my time for the takedowns.
Now, did you guys have it scored 1-1 going into that last round, or did you think you were up 2-0?
I think I was I won the last round for sure. I think I was up. You
Yeah.
know.
And then the other thing I wanted to ask you too from this fight, now this is related to the second round. Obviously, for that little time period that you guys were upstanding, I know she was able to be successful. She's so long too for the strawweight division. How difficult is it for somebody like you who's 5'1" to fight people that is so long like that? And how are you able to close the distance the way how you did too? Because when you were able to close, I mean, you got your hands on her, obviously threw her right down to the ground. They're very successful there. But how difficult is it to do that against somebody that's so long like that?
I think I have I have a getting a lot of experience fighting tall people. Even at LFA, I fought my first and I think my third fight, my second fight, long girls. And so I got to the UFC, they gave me like long girls, Manon and then Maria. So I got a lot of experience with that. I have been training a lot, and I think I'm one of the smallest girl in the division too. So I got a little bit not a little bit comfortable, not learning each more time as I fight longer people. And you know, like the game plan is be like Mike Tyson, you know, fight the right time, the good distance, buy the mouthpiece, and then like get the opportunity to go.
And then the other thing I want to ask now too, just related to the fight game here, before we kind of start going into some outside the cage stuff and talk about different fighters and whatnot. When do you want to get back inside there? Obviously, it's a great win for you, building a lot of momentum here in the UFC. When did we see you again?
I already got a proposed to fight, so I'll be fighting soon, maybe in 3 months. So I'll be back maybe in 3 4 months.
Now, is that a common thing for the UFC to do? I know it doesn't happen super often. That you literally just get done with the fight and they're already presenting you another one. Does that typically happen, or is that something new for you?
I think depends of the athlete, you know. I want to keep fighting more as I can. My goal this year is fighting like 3 times, but depends how my body feels, you know, how much time they're gonna give to me. So I want to fight more as I can. So I just tell my manager I want to fight in, and they try to find a fight for me.
So we're gonna see you back inside there
Yeah,
soon, which is awesome. And now, just to end,
yeah,
I do want to talk about a few other things. First one's still fight related, but not related to you necessarily. I did want to get your thoughts on the main event that night with Holly Holm and Ketlin Vieira. Obviously, a lot of controversy in the MMA world. MMA Twitter had a lot to say about it. Everybody scoring
yeah,
it which
yeah.
way. Just want to get your thoughts on the matchup. I'm not sure if you got to see it, but how you thought the fight kind of went down, and your comments on the judges scoring with that one.
Well, we couldn't stay in the fight to watch the other one. So after my fight, I would go back to the hotel, and I have some friends watching the fights in the computer. I was not paying attention much because I was too excited with my win and stay with my family. So I saw a little bit. And what I heard everybody saying that Holly Holmes won the fight, she got robbed. Um, and I was seeing some Vieira trying to choke her on the cage. That choke was pretty deep, and everybody thought Holly Holmes was tapping. So I wasn't, I couldn't like watch the fight later, so I cannot say like exactly what's going on. But as everybody was saying, I think Holly Holmes was robbing the fight.
So obviously the big storyline with the two was something has to change with judging, and obviously it's been a hot topic in the MMA world for quite some time now. Do you have anything to offer as a fighter that you would like to see judges do, or something, a way of hiring better judges so we kind of don't have these problems that we've been seeing quite a bit in the last really 2 years? It's been pretty much a big storyline throughout the
Yeah,
course of the year.
yeah. I don't know. I think it depends where we fight. They change the commission. So I think the UFC, if more that happens, they gotta do something about it. Like hire better referees, or like I don't know, change the rules, like be more on top of that, because we work hard for be there, and we don't want to be robbed.
And I know that in Victa, when they're in the state of Kansas, they do like an open scoring type thing. Would you be in favor of that, or are you not a fan of the open scoring at the end of each round, where you know how the outcome of the round was?
I think it's I'll be fine with that too. I don't care. For me, it doesn't matter.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I personally like it when we don't know. I think that's just a bit of like kind of the build up at the end of the fight. Who won? You're at the edge of your seats. But anyway, that's
Yeah,
just
give
me
you
in my
more
opinion.
exciting, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's
Yeah,
just my
yeah.
opinion. That could just be an old like fuddy-duddy thing that's kind of built into somebody's mind. But anyway, the last thing that I wanted to actually ask you about, it's something completely outside the cage. I know I opened up saying how I've been following your Instagram, watching you celebrate this win here. You just had posted the other day. I don't know where you were at, but you were like flinging nunchucks around. It was like the coolest thing like
Oh yeah,
ever.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
where did you learn to do that?
Well, so my dad taught me nunchakus. Actually, he's very good on that. So I always watch him in the garage and playing the nunchucks when I was kid, and I say, Dad, I want to learn how to do that. And he actually taught me that. And I was starting already with the wood one. We usually start with the foam ones, but my dad was teaching with the wood ones, like super heavy ones. And I was scared to hurt myself. I was trying to be technical more as I can. So I was practicing at my house. He taught me.
Now, did you ever have to like break those out ever and actually use them to like defend yourself? Or is it more just a thing that you kind of just do for fun and obviously keep up in case you ever had to do it?
I, j- I actually, it's pretty fun. I do for fun. I never had to use that one in my life, but I always carry with me. Just I do as a warm up. My shoulders reflex. I think that helps a lot, like for the fight wise.
All right, Tab, that's a pleasure as always. I know you have family stuff to get to. Don't want to hold you up too much longer. So, last thing before you roll out, social media management, sponsors, anybody got to give a shout out to? Take it away. Floor is yours.
So I wanna thank you all my sponsors that support me on the fight, all my teammates, all my coach, and of course my manager, Tough Media. Big shout out for them. I think we don't win alone. We win like together. So yeah, big love for everybody.
All right, guys, that once again was Tabatha Ricci. Tabatha, thanks again so much for all the time here today, and congrats on that win. Just want to go ahead now before I roll out, just to remind you guys to keep going to MyMMANews.com for all of our great work. And if you like today's interview, please go to the bottom, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel so you'll be able to get notified whenever I produce any more interviews just like the one that you saw here today. We'll see you later, everybody.